Yeah, good morning. It's Jim from JAGfx.com. It is Saturday, the 2nd of October 2021. This is just my weekly analysis video where we look at all the Forex pairs that I'm trading on the daily time frame using both my high probability and divergence methods from my books. So we're at the start of a new month. We're coming out of the Northern Hemisphere summer months, which means the trading will pick up a little bit, hopefully. So big welcome to everyone. If this is the first time you watched this video, they're not the most exciting videos on the planet. There's not much editing or effort goes into them, but they get the point across and we go through all the pairs. So we get to the meat and potatoes of it all. Big welcome also to anyone that's joined any of the JAGfx social media groups, whether that be the Facebook group, Telegram channels, or Family Man's Discord channel. Big welcome. Everyone is more than welcome to join any of those channels. There should be links to those in the description of the video. What else? If you do like these videos, please hit the like button or the subscribe button. That would be appreciated. Just helps get the message out there, I guess. Also, all these trades I call, as you see, are called live at the time, or pretty close to it. None of this is after the fact, so it's all very transparent from the right edge of the chart. So they're called live in those social media groups where I post screenshots also, and I write notes, etc. on the charts, which you'll see. So it's all done at the time. None of this, I would have taken this trade and it would have happened, this would have happened, etc. None of that sort of crap. This is all fair income. Okay, let's moving right along. First up, we'll have a look at the news ahead. So we'll just go to the free Forex factory economic calendar, which is good because, as I always say, you can filter it to suit your own personal needs and put it in your own local time. So for me, this is all in my own local Vietnamese time. So it just makes life a lot easier when it comes to time conversion. I think there's actually a daylight saving move this weekend on somewhere. I think it might be Australia. So just be careful of that. All right, let's have a look. In Australia, talking about Australia, holiday, bank holiday. I'm not sure what the holiday's for. Even being Australian, I don't even know what that one. I think it may be a Queen's birthday. It's always the Monday after the Rugby League Grand Final, so that's this Monday. So if we go ahead, OPEC meetings on Monday, I'm mainly interested in the red ones. They're the high impact ones. There is some big news this week, so let's have a look. First big news, I guess, is the Australian interest rate news. So the RBA, Royal Bank of Australia, rate statement. Not expecting a change, but it's what they say at the time of the speeches. It gives you future indications, so that can be a market mover. So that's Aussie, Australian interest rate news on Tuesday, so be careful there. Wednesday, New Zealand follows suit. Their interest rate news also this week. So that's Wednesday, and they are expecting a 0.25% move up in their interest rate. So be careful if you're trading New Zealand pairs. That's Aussie, New Zealand, moving down the list. Now, these are the big ones down here on Friday, the first Friday, I guess, of the month here it would be. I don't know, what is it today? Second? Yesterday was the first Friday, but it's probably too early in the month for everyone. Canada and the US employment numbers, big moves, market moves, especially the US, which is the non-farm payrolls, which that's what it used to be called. So these can be big market movers, both of them. So if you're trading Canadian dollar and the USD, be careful around there. So some big news this week gets the market humming a bit, hopefully. So be careful, especially if you're on the lower time frames. All right, let's get on the charts. But before we go to the charts, let's bring up this Word document. Now you're going to see a lot of different coloured lines, a few different indicators. Especially if you're new to the video, you won't know what those indicators are on the charts. Have a read of this, pause the video, read this. Explains what my moving averages are. The QMP filter, which is the red and green dots you'll see on the chart, and what they represent. So that's this notes here, just read that. You'll see red trend lines, green trend lines, blue, grey vertical lines, how my sell trades are designated, mainly red, and buy trades by blue, stop losses, red dotted lines, break evens, yellow dashed lines, but you won't see too many of them on these charts. Big numbers like parity round numbers, green dash horizontal lines. And the bottom indicator is the MACD Platinum, which is just a zero lag MACD. So you can read and I normally go over this in the charts, you'll see in a way, but you can read this, pause the video, have a read of that. I'll try and put it up at the end of the video so you can have another look if you're a little bit confused. So let's get on to the charts. Now, like I said, I call all these at the time, or at least within an hour or so in a way. So it's the daily time frame. This is my watch list on the right. You will notice I've added one extra one. These three down the bottom are just there for more for curiosity, just to see the general overall market and a few other things. So I've added the US dollar there just to give you an idea how that affects the market. Keeping in mind, the US dollar probably affects 70%, just over 70% of all trades in the Forex market. So it's a big shaker and mover, so be careful of that. So you'll see some are highlighted and some aren't. If they're not highlighted, it means there's no trades on. Generally, if they're highlighted in this light blue, it means I've taken some action on a trade that's open, and they're all light blue. If there wasn't any action on an open trade, it'd be dark blue. So, and if it was orange, it would mean let's make one orange. We'll look at make that one or yellow or orangey color. Euro Yen. I think I want to talk about that. That just reminds me. It means I want to talk about it. There's possibly a trade coming up on it. So we'll have a look at that. I think it's the Euro Yen from memory. So as I said, you can read my notes on the chart. On the right here generally refers to the current trade. So you'll see the trade, the pair name, the date, the signal. So there's the basics. And if you just read down there, it gives you a pretty brief description on my thoughts about the trade set up at the time. You can go back and have a look at the screenshots. None of these are doctored or changed. You can have a look at the original screenshots from here. I even try and post a few of these trade setups in the trading view. You know how you can publish it under your profile? I try to do that, not with everyone, but a few of them. So they're good because you can forward them, which is great. Anywho, so this is AusCAD. You can see all that's written everywhere. The last trade was a sell in here. It's gone nowhere for a few days and dropped down nicely. As soon as the MACD Platinum, which is this indicator down here, remember if you read those notes, I'm generally looking to sell when it's above the zero level. So this is above the zero level here. The zero level being this grey dotted line across here. You can see pretty close to zero there. And buy when it's below. So here we have this sell. Again, you can read my notes. There's hidden bearish divergence, red lines, and there's this big sort of resistance level here, that blue line. So I took the sell, MACD Platinum through the zero level. It would have been on this big bearish candle here, getting close to those previous lows, would have closed half your position, brought your stop down. It's just a trade management tool. MACD Platinum through the zero level. No need to close the whole trade, but start taking some action. Because once it gets on the other side of the zero level, I'm thinking buy then, but not necessarily getting out of the sell, but thinking buy. And you can see the moving averages, the three moving averages are slowly heading down, so it's with the trend. So give it a bit of room when it's with the trend. If it's against the trend, you can tighten things up. So the original stop would have been up here, somewhere above these highs. Now it's been moved right down here. And in the meantime, we've got a green dot on the MACD Platinum below the zero level. Now, the good thing about TradingView is it shows what's coming up on a Monday. So I know exactly what's happening with the MACD Platinum and the QMP filter dots. So MT4, MT5 don't do that. If it was exactly the same on MT4, MT5, you probably wouldn't see that dot yet. Or if there was I'll show you on one of these other pairs with a QMP filtered dot, you definitely wouldn't see that on MT4, MT5. But on TradingView, it's a good thing. I know exactly what's coming Monday. So here we have this green dot. I've started to draw my trend lines in. I just adjust these every day. Say if the price drop down and drop like that, the trend lines are no longer valid. Well, the divergence is no longer valid. I just delete the trend lines. But in the meantime, just put them in every day and adjust them. And getting ready, a bit of preparation, as I say. So here we have a green dot on the MACD Platinum. We've got a sell on. I'm thinking I'm bringing this stop in lower. So it'll just be say just tighten it up a bit. Bring it inside the entry level, so I don't want to lose anything on the second part of that trade. So that's my call, tightening that stop up just inside the entry level somewhere. Normally I just drop down to a 4-hour chart. If I'm on the daily, I just drop down to a 4-hour chart and just have a look. There's no obvious place here. The stop was, I had it there. I'm just bringing it down in here. So there's no obvious place on the 4-hour. If there was a nice little fractal up, but there's not. So we just leave it inside the entry level. So I can't lose on the sell, but I'm thinking buy mode here. Possible hidden bullish divergence on the buy mode. Right, Aussie Yen. The little trickster. All right, this one has got, you'll see there's information on the left here, and there's 2 trades on. So we took this sell here. If you'd watched my videos from the last couple of videos, you would have seen this. It was a good sell. Bang, bang, down, down, down with the trend. Down, 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 bang, through the MACD platinum, through the 0 level here, which is on this last bearish candle here. Close half, bring the stop down. In the meantime, then we get this buy signal here, and you can read my notes on the buy signal there. Like I said, just pause the video if you don't understand if I talk too quick or talk too slow or whatever, just pause the video. So what's happened here, the buy went pretty well initially, popped up, took out my stop on the sell, so the sell trade is gone. I just left it on the chart to show you. So it popped up, and as Murphy's Law would have it, it's come down. And in the meantime, the buy, the MACD Platinum's gone through the 0 level. It's never really taken off, and we had this bearish candle. Then we had this little sort of a bullish candle. I'm moving my stop right up. So I'm tightening this up. It's against the trend. So I nominated my stop to this level here. And on Friday, it just popped down and taken out the stop on the buy. So the buy was a loss. Overall winner on the sell. Small loss on the buy. And it's popped up on a bullish candle. So yeah, I'm probably going to regret that stop. And that's only a couple of pips. If you look at my stop, 79,913. Just look over here for the low. And 79,902. So 1.1 pip. Taken out. So both those trades are out. So I'm just leaving those on the chart to show you. Both out, which is probably not ideal because this buy may pop up, may not. Who knows? So I'll highlight that purple, which means I'll go back to this chart and remove all these trades. No trades on the Aussie Yen. Aussie New Zealand in a buy down here. It was a high risk trade. You can see the divergence. Trend is down, regular bullish divergence. MACD platinum close to 0 level. Sort of didn't go anywhere real fast. Initially, the stop was down here. It's popped up. Eventually got a couple of bullish candles. Closed half, brought the stop up nice and tight. Now we're just tracking up. And in the meantime, I'm drawing these trend lines in for potential hidden bearish divergence. What I'm expecting here is for this to roll over to the downside and take another sell. It could just keep on going up and up and up, who knows, but that's just the way I'm thinking. In the meantime, we've taken some profit and we've got the stop tighten up a little bit. So when we get a potential new sell signal of any type, we'll bring this stop up tighter, then look for the sell. Aussie USD was a sell trade back here. Again, read the notes. Here's a big number on the chart, 75 cents, which is a big number on the Aussie. So just be careful of that. If it went down lower, 70 cent would be a big number also. So here we are, sell here, and it came down nicely in this area. We're through the 0 level, the MACD platinum. The initial stop would have been up around the 75 cent level. Brought the stop right down. Now I've brought it. We've had this little pullback after. So I would have brought the stop down into here somewhere. And we've had this little pullback. There was a buy signal in there. Now, we're in profit. If I was in a loss, I would have got out to sell, but we're not. We're in profit. So I've just given it a couple of days. And I didn't take that buy signal. It was just too high risk trade. And I remember mentioning that in one of the groups, or all the groups. It's just too high risk trade into the MAs at that time. and there was no supporting divergence. And then we've got this red dot, which is a sell type signal, but it's not a valid one because the MACD platinum's below the zero level. So all I've done is brought my stop down just above this fractal here, above this high, so locking a little bit of profit. Now, Monday, we're starting to get some action to the buy side again. I've drawn these trend lines in. Now we're starting to get some sort of divergence. Not much, but it's definitely a double bottom there, possibly. And a slight, obviously a higher low there. So if a buy presents, there may be an opportunity to take a buy next time round. But in the sell, we can't lose, which is good. Euro Swiss, let's have a look here. This was the sell signal was actually here on this candle. You can just see the red dot amongst the trend lines there. It was a good sell signal, but it got stopped out for a loss. So then I drew, the sell signal remains valid. There's never been a new green QMP filter dot. So I've drawn this trend line across the lows here, and this big candle here broke it well and truly, as you can see. And so I took the sell in there, and it went, the stop would have been up here originally, and it's just meandered sideways for a while. Then bang, had a nice big drop, stop's been brought down, closed half, and now we're through the MACD through the zero level. New trend lines drawn, starting to get drawn in, looking for possible divergence. But in the meantime, probably if it just shot up and took us out, it'd probably an overall break-even trade, which is not such a bad result. That's Euro Swiss. Euro Yen, highlighted in orange. There's a reason for that. I knew there was. All right. We took a buy trade in here. This went in our favor, popped up. A nice, I thought, here we go, we're good. We just need to break this previous high here, so I just waited. You can see that MAs are all very tight. I think I mentioned that at the time. High risk trade, yeah, right. Prices at the MAs, high risk trade. Read those there. Yeah, there was a partial sell trade on, but yeah, that's gone now. But what happened was I got this bearish candle here. This one, we had the bullish, then the bearish candle there. MACD platinum through the zero level. I'm tightening the stop right up. It's just it's a pair I'm not going to mess around with. Everything's very tight, so all I did was bring my stop up, and on Thursday proved a good move. It stopped out for a small loss, which is great. And now Friday we've had a small bearish candle. I guess it's a sort of a nothing candle after that Thursday move. We've got this new red dot. Now, if you hadn't moved your stop, then I'd be getting out on Monday open. Now, that's presenting as a sell. I'm in two minds about this. One, I'm concerned about this low here. This low here could be a support level, and the MACD platinum's just above the zero level, which is not ideal. The thing I do like is the MAs are very tight, so I'm happy to take signals from both directions. And I do like that it didn't take out the previous high there, so it suggests that the market may be moving to the downside, but it's not the ideal setup. But what I'll do is I'll take it. It's a high risk trade, but I'll take it. I'll call it a trade on Monday. It's a sell, so that's why I will mark that up, and that's what we'll look at on Monday. All right. And that's assuming if the market opens pretty close to where it closed. So we'll give that a run. It's not an ideal setup, so just be careful. If you normally risk 2% on the trade, look at maybe risking 1% or 0.5% or something like that. All right, Euro USD. Let's check the time. All right, there was a sell up here. That's this notes here. Bang, bang, bang. Drop down nicely. Close half. Tighten it up. Now, what happened here? We got a buy signal. That's this information here. So here's the buy. I actually like this. I think I was a high risk trade, trading against a downtrend. Yeah, it's a high risk trade. And I did say if you can, I would leave the previous partial sell on for some protection. Now, just remember market structure, guys. If we're in a downtrend, your bias should be towards the downside. So if you've got sell trades on and you're in a downtrend, you really want to give them a bit of room and not so much your priority, but really leave them on if you can and have a think about it. Because when we're taking a buy trade against a trend, which is what most people would be looking for, it's not ideal. It's a bit opposite to how you should be thinking. So that's why I try and say leave the sell trade on if you can. So we took this buy here, and it wasn't a bad setup. You know, there's hidden bullish divergence, but it was high risk. And it's one I hedge, and I have hedged on my other private trading. But straight away, here's a stop down here. The stop's been taken out before the new sell signal presented, which if you hadn't had a stop here, you would have been your exit there. So in the meantime, I'll move my stop down on the sell down to here. So I'm offsetting some of the loss on the buy by the sell. So that's why I suggest you leave the sells on for things like this to happen. I know this is a hindsight type thing, but that's how the markets move. I've drawn this trend line across the bottom here, and it's possible that the Euro USD is going to start heading up. But that sell is, sorry, the buy is finished. So I'll tidy that chart up at the end. The buy is finished, but the sell's still on. So we took a loss on there, but the loss has been offset by the remaining sell. All right, pound Swiss. What do we got here? A very sideways market, as you can see, sort of starting to break, but not convincing by any means. We've got a sell here. Went down, got to this. The sell was taken there. If you missed the closing out half when it hit this previous low here, you definitely would have been closing out half in here somewhere on this big bearish candle. MACD platinum through the zero level. Hence, I would have bring the stop in nice and tight. Now we've sort of hit this level down here again, and we're popping up to the upside. But it's tough to trade when you're in a range like this. You're only going to be getting small base hits, but eventually, as we know, all sideways markets eventually break out one side, and that's when you get your home runs. So we just got to wait. Pound yen. All right, here we go. Another one that we've taken a loss. Now, I'm going to call this a loss, and I'll explain why. Again, range bound. Took the buy in here. You can read the notes again. Good support level, bit of divergence there. Popped up a couple of days, then bearish. And we got this red dot, QMP dot, not a valid sell signal. But me, I'm not letting it get to the stop. I'm closing out there for a loss. Now, Friday's given us a bullish candle, so be it. But I'm calling that as a loss. I'm closing that buy trade on the open of Friday's, that candle there, just because we've got this red dot. Normally, if I was hedging, this is where I start hedging this sort of stuff. But we're not doing that in this watch list. We're just taking traditional buys and sells with a stop loss in place. That's where I'll be getting out. So if you risk 2% on this trade or 1%, you're saving yourself. You're not taking that loss. It's not a full loss. So I'll mark that up as one I'm calling is finished, and we're out of that trade. Pound New Zealand, it's given me some grief on the lower time frames, and it's not exactly setting the world on fire on the higher time frames either. It is a sideways market sometimes. This pair can go sideways. I like it. I like trading this pair, but sometimes it can do your head in. So it was stuck in the range, eventually broke out, as you can see. Now we've got the sell signal here, and I've dragged my stop down. Eventually, it's been stopped out. So that partial sell, is being stopped out. Overall profit on the sell, which is good. So I'll remove that one from the chart after the video. I just left it on to show that it's stopped out. If it wasn't stopped out, this candle, it's definitely stopped out that one. If it wasn't, definitely that one, and probably Friday's also. Yeah. In the meantime, we've got a red dot on the MACD platinum above the zero level. So I'm in sell mode. But we're in this buy that's gone nowhere fast. I've brought up the stop. And what I'll be tempted to do now, I'm bringing the stop up even tighter. Let's see if we would have closed half anywhere here. So I'm just looking at the buys. Nothing there. Ching, 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 ching. Up, bang, up there. We're through the MACD platinum, through the zero. You can see it's a messy sideways just by the dots, the MACD platinum, all the crosses on the MACD platinum there. So there's possibility you closed out half. Say, you may have closed out half anywhere in here. Drag the stop up. You're possibly more than likely going to take a loss on this trade, but keep it small. If you're lucky enough to close out half somewhere, then you may even be a scratch trade break even. But it's a bit messy. The sell's definitely gone. The buy's still in play, but it's all very tight. So we'll just leave it as is for now on the buy, but the sell's gone. Pound USD. This is one we did take a loss, but again, it's like the Euro. I suggested you leave the sell on the previous sell, which is here, which is good. Took this buy off this. I thought it was a pretty good setup. Just shows you, price is king. Just broke 1 day later, just bang straight through. Took my stop out, so it's a loss. And luckily, you have a stop in place. Followed up with another big bearish candle, which had a red dot. Not taking a sell. That's where I have hedged on my other private trading, but it's no big deal on this one. Now, 2 days, Thursday and Friday, back to the side. So the buy is definitely gone. We took a loss on that. The sell is still in play. Just wait and see what happens on Monday. We're going to have to tighten that sell stop up somewhere. But I can probably bring it in a little bit tighter at the moment, just above that high there. So the buy's definitely out for a loss. So we'll tidy up the chart. Buy's finished, took a loss. New Zealand CAD. And a sell up here. Nice setup, bit higher risk, but it worked out well. It went against us initially. The initial stop would have been up here somewhere above the highs. Where are we? Yeah. It's come down. Eventually, hang on a sec, what's going on there? Yeah, just lost my cursor there for a bit. Yeah, this big candle, big bearish candle here that took us back to the MAs and also got us through the MACD Platinum. That's where you close out half, tighten the stop up, just bring the stop in somewhere. And it's continued on down, broken through nicely. Start to draw our trend lines in place here. And as you can see, prices came down, but it hasn't breached its previous low, whereas the MACD Platinum has, well and truly. So again, drawing the trend lines in, looking for potential hidden bullish divergence there, which I love. In the meantime, we're making some good pips on the sell side. USD Japanese Yen, one that's been doing my head in for a long time. As you can tell by all these blue lines, it's range bound. Eventually broke out the range with this buy. Popped up, got to this previous high here, and it popped through. Wednesday, Thursday, nah. Friday, nah. Coming down. So this buy already closed half. It was closed half pretty early when it probably hit this high here somewhere. And stop's been brought up. You can tighten the stop up possibly. We've got the grey vertical line, which means the red dot on the MACD Platinum above the zero level, so we're in sell mode. But we're not going to lose anything on the buy, which is a good thing. USD Singapore dollar, buy trade back here. Initial stop was down here. This was there was mention that there's a buy here. It was on a trend line break or something. I can't remember what it was. I have to go back a couple of videos, but we eventually got into a buy. Stops. We've closed half. Price went up here nicely through the MACD Platinum, through the zero level, closing half. Would have brought the stop up. The initial stop would have been down here. Brought it up in here somewhere. Came back down towards my entry. Then it's popped up again. Bring the stop up inside below that low there, inside the entry. All good. Hasn't broken this previous high. Now we've got this grey vertical line, red dot on the MACD Platinum. Starting to think maybe it's not going to break that high. Let's bring it to the downside. Oops. Bring it to the downside. But in the meantime, we're looking good on the buy. Gold, XAU, USD, in a sell trade from back here. These notes here refer to that. It's come down through the MACD Platinum, through the zero level, and this big bearish candle. I would have brought my stop down above this high here, popped up and came back down again, hence the stop. I'm pretty sure I went through all this last week's video. Stop dragged down above this high here, so we can't lose on the, we've made money on one half already, and now we're locking in the second half, which is good. Kept on coming down. This buy signal presented on Friday morning, I called it. Not a great sort of signal. It's a high risk trade, hence I said leave the sell on if you can. But at least it's heading in the right direction. So this is gold, and you can see the hidden bullish divergence there, so that's gold. All right, these next three are just for more out of a curiosity. Now, I've added the US dollar because I have a look at this sometimes. You can see it just moves like every other chart. It's just the US dollar itself against, I think, against every other currency. I think it's a basket. I'm not sure how it works. But you can see the last signal was a buy here. It follows the same rules. Dollar's popped up. Now we've got a sell signal. It's a bit hard to see, but there's a red dot there. Yep, see that there? Red dot, the QMP filter. Big divergence. Sell there. So you could say we're shorting the dollar. So, and look how many pairs got the USD in it. So that's what you're thinking. US 500, which is the overall stock market, US stock market. This previous low here actually held. We took the buy. Well, we didn't take the buy, but I just called it as a buy signal there. It sort of held. It did pop down through it. It's probably the first low it's been taken out. MAs every week out bang on about how the MAs are in a perfect uptrend, but now they're starting to flatten out. So we've had this lower high, and now I guess you can technically say that's a similar lower high. Now we get this sell signal here, MACD platinum below the zero level. Then we've got a green dot on the MACD platinum below the zero level, hence the grey vertical line. We broke, not breaking that low here. Who knows? It's not. That's probably getting a bit ugly on the US stock market. That's unusual. Let's just have a look. Go back a bit. Yeah, it's giving an indication it might be a little bit of a problem there. Who knows? And Bitcoin. Let's have a look what we're doing in Bitcoin. Had a buy signal here. If you want that, this is one you could do the dollar cost averaging, or that's what I would be doing on this. If you want to get into Bitcoin long term. So you had a buy here, take the sell. You could either close out your position on that sell, but I wouldn't take the sell. And there's another buy here, so that's what I'll be adding to it. This is like the hedging, and popped up nicely on, well, this 24/7 market. So that's probably like yesterday. Works a little bit different to currencies. That's Bitcoin heading in the right direction, which is good because I'm actually long on Ethereum, which they normally go hand in hand. So that's it, guys and girls, for the watch list. So let's just bring up that Word document. If you didn't read it previously, if you're wondering what all the different lines or colors were, you can have a read of that at the 32-minute mark, which is about average for these videos. Like I said, if you do like these videos, if you get something from them, just please hit the like button or subscribe button. That would be appreciated. Enjoy your weekend. It's, as I said, 2nd of October. We're slowly coming out of lockdown here in Vietnam. I've had my first vaccination shot, which is great. I herded up all the foreigners into our area and got us all, give us one shot anyway. And bars still aren't open, massage parlours are not open, karaoke's not open, which is not such a bad thing, but at least we can move around a bit and go to the beach, etc., which is great. Enjoy the weekend, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I'll chat to you guys during the week sometime. Cheers.